I think from my perspective, there were three observations that underpinned my motivation for starting this Sustainable Seafood Initiative at that time in KwaZulu-Natal. Firstly, I saw a high level of illegal activity across the seafood value chain. Significantly, it was clear that many of the restaurants and retailers and even chefs didn't know that they were breaking the law. Secondly, many pressing marine conservation issues seemed invisible across the seafood value chain, but also a lack of awareness around the impacts of some of our seafood choices. So it was clear to me that there was little incentive to change fishing practices in the water without that pull from consumers. Yet in South Africa, consumers were really disconnected from these opportunities because there was a lack of information and tools to help consumers make more sustainable choices. Even there was evidence that fishers in the water also wanted to be part of a team that could make changes for healthy oceans and wanted to improve the lives of legitimate fishers and leave a legacy for future generations.
WWF came in to support Kerry and to grow the initiative from something which was initially focused out of KwaZulu-Natal and bring that into a South African national initiative that's had huge impact. And now I think is a role model globally in terms of how we engage consumers and create pressure across the supply chain to improve the health of our marine resources.
So I've been with SASSI right from its inception, and it's quite astonishing to think that it's 20 years that have gone by. I have a confession to make immediately though, and that is when SASSI started, I was highly skeptical that it would ever work. I just felt the public would not be likely to address it. I was doubtful whether the consumer product chain would ever listen to it. But I'm delighted to say I've been proven wrong many, many different times. When it started off, it was basically a classification of fish that told you, should you eat it? Should you eat it cautiously? Or should you not eat it? But at that stage, it didn't have any teeth to it. And it was only when the industry began to come on board to recognize that there were actually huge benefits to them to be able to say, we are selling sustainable fish.
For me, SASSI has helped us to help people to care for the ocean, which is kind of what I've tried to do my whole life. And it's been so amazing to watch it grow from there. Once Kerry took it on and then WWF taking it on and making it grow. And it really has been just incredible to see how this has grown and become something so important in South Africa. SASSI has accomplished many milestones, and obviously the first milestone was actually just getting it to become a program as part of WWF so that it would have continuity. So I think the first milestone was saying, yes, let's make SASSI happen in South Africa. If we look at the SASSI milestones from a biological perspective, the probably two would be the one about seafood bycatch reduction and the fact that SASSI has helped to drive that. And then the other would be looking at several species of fish, our lionfish, that have gone from the red list onto the orange list. And that's through improved management and some of the pressure that came from the SASSI campaign.
The WWF Nedbank Green Trust was started in 1990. Things weren't fashionable then. Even when SASSI was started, 20 years ago, it wasn't as fashionable and everybody's kind of talking about it a lot more. It was innovative, and I'm glad, I think, from the WWF Nedbank Green Trust, we've been able to raise over 300 million rand, for conservation. So I'm glad that organizations like SASSI we've been able to fund, and there are many like that, and we're proud that these organizations have continued to make a difference. When you give organizations a chance, when you plant a seed, and that seed grows and becomes other trees and gives fruit, that's really when I think as organizations that you're proud that are certainly invested in something that's really, really great. And I'm so glad that SASSI is that type of organization.
I think SASSI is a fantastic example of the value of teamwork across an entire value chain that results in real conservation benefits in the water. I sleep better at night because of SASSI. I get to know that consumers, chefs, retailers, conservation practitioners, and fishers are all engaged in efforts towards healthier oceans in South Africa.